Hello and welcome to another edition of History, Science, Fiber. Today we're going to be looking at lichen dyes. What are they and how do we use them? So to understand lichen dyes themselves, you kind of need to understand what lichens are. And they're not just one species. They're actually multiple species living together in a stable, if you will, polyamorous situation. So you have one algae or cyanobacteria living together with multiple fungi, and they create new forms. And so often how we understand and categorize lichens is through what's called their growth form, what they look like and how they grow, as well as other characteristics. So today we're going to be looking at dyeing with them. And I first started dyeing with lichens in 2012. I learned about a researcher named Penelope Walton who had done work on Viking Age dyes, and she discovered that Viking Age people ferment lichens to get purples, and they use these in their clothes. And I thought that was amazing, so I wanted to do the same thing. So I did a project that year, and I've been more or less dyeing with lichens ever since. This is the book that I use. It's a great book. It's called Lichen Dyes, the New Source Book. And another great person I learned a lot about lichen dyes from is a master dyer of mushrooms and lichens down in Washington State. Her name is Alyssa Allen, and she runs Mycopigments and does lots of workshops. I can't recommend her stuff enough. So come with me today as we talk about lichens. So lichen dyeing isn't anything new. People have been dyeing with lichens for thousands of years. Scotland, for example, has a rich history and culture of lichen dyeing. And there's two basic ways we can use lichens. The first method is called boiled water method, or BWM. And that basically is what it sounds like, which is you put your lichen in a vessel, heat it with your fiber, and the fiber will change color. And this is how we get colors like browns and oranges and yellows. And the other method is called your ammonia method, or fermentation. And that's when we have a vat that we seal, and we put half household ammonia, half water with our ground up lichen. I usually use 100 grams for a gallon. And that way, and then we leave it to ferment, it's usually 12 to 16 weeks. And then we use that. And that's how we get our pinks and our purples. So there's two more things I wanted to mention. One is that not all lichens are dyers. And so one of the methods that people use to see if a lichen is going to go pink or purple using the fermentation method is they take a small dropper bottle of bleach with them in the field. You put a drop on and you see if that lichen's going to change color. You give it a pink or a purple. And if it does, it usually can be fermented. And there's also a list of them in this book. The other thing I would keep in mind is the conservation of lichens. As I mentioned before in a video, lichens are extremely slow growing and sensitive. And so I usually collect lichens one of two ways. I collect them after a storm. What's fallen on the ground I feel like is fair game, so I do it that way. And the other way is for my job, I'm often in forest patches that are going to be cleared. So if you're in a forest that is going to be cleared, it is going to lose its identity to industry in some fashion. It's free game to harvest species in there. It's not a situation that comes up that often, but I think it's one that the more you get into this, the more you hear about areas like that you can access safely. Remember to ask permission if it's going to be on private land and all of that. Thank you very much.